想留住的幸运，原来我们和爱情曾经靠得那么近，那为我对抗世界的决定，那陪我淋的雨，一幕幕都是你，一尘不染的真心与你相遇，好幸运，可我已失去为你泪流满面的权利，但愿在我看不到的天际，你张开了双翼，遇见你的注定，他会有多幸运？青春是段跌跌撞撞的旅行，拥有之后觉得美丽，来不及感谢是你给我勇气，让我能做回我自己，也许当时忙着微笑和哭泣，忙着追逐天空中的流星，人理所当然的忘记，是谁风里雨里一直默默守护在原地，原来你是我最想留住的幸运，原来我们和爱情曾经靠得那么近，那为我对抗
shit, I'm back, and I'm here to answer one of Dota's most important questions. Are Medusa's pubes also snakes? And along the way, we might potentially just learn how to play her. Here is a triangle. Perhaps you'd like to examine it. The top rung's 5 points, the middle's 2, and the bottom's 1. If they pick heroes that add up to 5, then don't pick her. Or do. I don't fucking know shit. This episode, we have a very special tiny little 4th triangle right at the top. That slot is worth 57 points, and that's where Invoker goes. The second to top triangle has OD, Nyx, and AM, because Medusa, by and large, is countered by Mana Burn, and Mana Burn alone. Coddle's in the middle rung, just because Medusa doesn't actually move in team fights, and just to fill in the rest, I guess the middle can also be reserved for Slark, who can sort of be a problem with the whole stat stealing. I mean, if Slark's hitting you, that means he's not hitting your supports, and if you're hitting Slark, you're hitting his. And the bottom rung's just hard hitting carries. Why not? It's pretty much irrelevant. If they don't have mana burners, congrats on the plus 25 MMR. Now, let's invert this pyramid for a sec, because I'd like to remove points for any hero that depend on armor reduction, just because mana shield is calculated before armor anyway, and that's most of your effective HP. Now, if you don't know what effective HP means, like me, I'd probably look it up, because I'm about to use it like 33, 34 more times in the next few minutes.
Radiant's top tower's hurting. That's 4 in a row.
As with every only way to play guide I've done, you can find this one in-game as well as right here. It's the first link in the description. With my fixation on leveling stats and hoarding skill points, you'll be surprised to find that we level spells like a normal human being for this hero. It goes like this: E W W Q W R W Q Q Q E E E R stats R, and then the rest in stats. And here's why. Mana Shield is the best skill for level 1. Just because everything else is worse. We'd only use Mystic Snake from level 2 onwards, and Split Shot isn't quite good yet. We then immediately max Snake, but then we do something unorthodox. We max Split Shot. The reason being, one level of Mana Shield gives us the 60% reduction, and that's all we need for now. We're going to constantly get our mana back anyway, and besides, winning a fight in Dota isn't just a case of dying slower than your opponent, it's more nuanced than that. Split Shot gives us the ability to immediately hit the jungle and clear all 5 camps with Mask of Madness. This is amazing. We also level Stone Gaze at level 6 instead of the typical after Mana Shield is maxed. Reasoning is it's an anti-gank tool. Losing effective HP is totally worth it. Just make sure to pay attention and turn off your Mana Shield before it hits under 200. But in the end, we just get the value point. While it's the worst scaling spell, it's still better than stats, so after everything else is maxed out, we put the last 2 levels in it, 14 and 16. Now let's get into the advanced stuff. Split Shot has a range of 100 more than Medusa's normal attack, and you should imagine the skill as firing 5 times at once, rather than one attack hitting 5 people, as in one attack missing doesn't affect the rest. They're all independent of each other. There's actually a glitch where the damage displayed on the HUD is wrong when Split Shot's on. It only reduces base attack damage, but remember that any bonus damage is also reduced in the actual game. Split Shot arrows don't target wards or buildings, but will still fire if the main attack is aimed at them. Basically, if you're pushing a tower, attack the tower and the creeps die anyway. Also, know when to turn Split Shot off. If there's a lone tower or a nearly dead guy about to TP, but you really want to attack his full HP ally nearby, reconsider. Mystic Snake is so good, and it turns to pure damage if the target is petrified. Early game, hitting a hero with even the first bounce while he's frozen is still more damage than a few auto attacks you're missing out on. Mana Shield finally stays after death. You used to be an awful Aegis carrier because you'd die with it on, respawn and get stunned, and then die because you couldn't turn it back on. Stone Gaze will immediately slow anyone who looks 90 degrees towards you. It also counts up on a Puck who's phase shifted. How Puck manages to both not exist and look into Medusa's eyes is completely beyond me. And Stone Gaze is a frustrating spell. Not just because it's hard to land, but because there's a half-second cast time, which is like an eternity in Dota time. And during that time, this is Medusa's animation. Dude, I'm just walking. Oh, alright, I'll pop my ult. And then a half second later, this. There's no actual animation there. So, Valve, if you're watching, and I hope you are, because in the default suggested items for Medusa, you tell us to get Lincolns. Here is an animation I made for Stonegaze. Looking back, that smut actually might be the closest thing to a true image of Medusa, because it in fact did petrify me. And I imagine it made a few of you a little rock hard. And I guess we've answered that burning question. Medusa doesn't have to all stop watching. But if you're still here, in exactly 140 seconds, I will lose all credibility I had, so bear with me. Start off with some Tangas and a Wraithband, swapping out Wraithband for Basilius if you doubt you'll get off successful snake bounces, or you're up against someone with a really small mana pool. Boots of choice are Power Treads, and let me explain why. There are people out there who will swear upon phase boots, and they wouldn't be wrong. They give you more damage, they give you the ability to actually chase down people, and the phase active means you can walk through a person who's trying to turn away from you. But these are really minor perks in the grand scheme of the universe, and treads have one perk that outshines them all. With treads, you can tread switch. You can cast snake on int treads and retrieve the snake on agi treads. That means if you hit enough targets, Mystic Snake is free. A potentially free, potentially 550 damage nuke that gives you effective HP. So buy treads. After we have treads, we finish our Aquila and go Mask of Madness. Yasha, Midas, Helm of the Dominator, Mask of Madness. All cost approximately 2,000 gold and all help one farm in their own special way. Let me explain why Mom is the best of all of them. I am a normal hero. I activate Mom and take about 23% more damage. Now I'm a normal hero with 1 level of mana shield. Before any amps or reductions, 60% of every hit I take is taken straight out of my mana pool. This is unchangeable, which means only 40% of the damage of every hit is amplified by Mom, and that ends up being only 10% extra damage taken for 100 attack speed, 17% extra movement speed, and life.